Back again for another Wood Stick Wednesday, and I've got a little bit of a different Wood Stick Wednesday. I have bought here a Wes Patterson stick. Got a couple of Patterson sticks. One's actually sitting behind me here. It's Patterson stick here, which is actually signed by Wes Patterson, and really cool. And I've kept this as a wall piece purely because it's like signed. I have been on the lookout for another Patterson stick. Got a few, but the women's sticks, plus the one field one there, field box one. I do have a field one, incidentally. Found this Patterson stick, and picked this up on eBay, and I kind of took a bit of a chance on this because it is very, very heavily taped. And that could be a terrible sign, but it could also be a sign someone's trying to look after this stick. So I have seen sticks in the past which have got, a nasty crack down the side here, and someone has just taped them up, trying to hold that crack together so the stick's still usable. It is very, very heavily taped on the scoop, which could be that someone has taped up a crack under the scoop. It could also be that someone has taped this heavily because they didn't want to split it too much when picking the ground balls up. They may have taped this up just so it doesn't splinter when it's being checked, or that the user was checking other people. So, took a bit of a chance. The stick itself, so when I'm buying a stick on eBay or another platform, I will try my best to see if this room's only quite narrow, so but I'm going to see if the handle is in line with the two centre top holes. And fortunate enough, on the picture, it was fairly obvious that this stick is, straight. Looks like a well-balanced stick. The Patterson stick I've got here, the box stick, is superbly made. And I kind of like the fact that the Patterson box sticks have got quite a tight face shape to them. This one in particular has got a very, very tight head. Unusually for a Patterson stick, because most of the Patterson sticks I've seen have that style of gut. This one's actually got a gut wall. And like I said, I've taken a chance on it. So, quite a heavy stick. Quite a kind of square handle this as well, as opposed to being octagonal. But there's a bit of weight in the stick, meaty stick. I'm going to cut this tape off and we're going to have a little look. This could be either a video of huge disappointment or pleasant surprise. So, I'm praying that it is actually a good stick and it's structurally sound and it's not got any cracks on it, because if it hasn't, I'm going to do my utmost to restore this into a really nice playable stick. So there is a lot of tape on this. Now when I come to sand this, it's always a bit tricky when there's a lot of tape on a stick, or there's been tape on it. You can see already there is the discoloration there of the patina of the wood or the dirt. So even when you come to sand it, you tend to find there's like a bit of a discoloration, unless you go kind of quite heavy with the sanding. Don't want to go too heavy with the sanding on some of these branded sticks, because you don't want to keep the brand. Fortunately, as opposed to an ink stamp, Patterson burns his logos in. So we're going to take the old scalpel and see. Don't want to scratch it too much, but we're going to see if I can kind of cut some of this tape off and see what's underneath. So I think what we'll do is, rather than watching me take tape off for ages, we might just fast forward a little bit. So there's good news. And there's good news. So there's no cracks in it, amazingly. Somebody has just taped this stick to hell to protect it, which I'm really, really pleased with. You know, the danger is when you see a load of tape on the scoop or on the sidewall like that, and it's kind of like not just protecting, because you do see a lot of people just tape the edge here. That's usually just to stop splintering when you're checking. Occasionally, you'll see people, you know, try and tape up a crack on the scoop. And I did worry a little bit that's what might have happened here. But I've also seen people tape it so heavily on the scoop just to protect the scoop. And that's exactly what's happened here. So I've kind of hit lucky here. I have just cut a little leather shooter that someone had run through. It's just the one gut shooter there. It's got a full tramp pocket. There's one, I'm not going to say random piece of leather. This has been placed specifically. So if you throw and catch with a wooden stick, you might find now and again that the ball traps in this area here. In a field stick, you'd expect to see like a gut ball stop area. But someone's actually kind of like improvised here and just put a thin bit of leather through there. And I think what we're going to do is, I think we're actually just going to cut that out and take a proper look at this. So just make sure I'm not snipping anything else, because I don't want to have a little accident with this fine Patterson. I've really looked out here. This is going to be an exciting stick, and I'm just going to take a look at this pocket before I decide what I'm going to do with it, because in actual fact, despite the amount of tape that was on it, giving it the appearance that it was like, you know, a well-used stick, it doesn't really look like it's been used an awful lot. I mean, there's a lot of tape on the handle here as well. Always fun and games taking the tape off. It's a little bit sticky, obviously, with the residue on the top. And if you've ever taken the old tape off, I'm on the point of sneezing here, actually, just talking about it. But all the dust and little bits that come off it, he says, coughing on bits of tape residue and dust. But it's always fun and games taking off layers and layers of tape. And there was probably best part of a roll of athletic tape on that. So hence the time lapse, because it would have been the most boring video otherwise if you'd have just watched me with a scalpel pulling it off. So we're just going to take this little improvised ball stop leather out. So always handy if you're stringing sticks, or even unstringing as I'm doing now, have a set of needle nose pliers to hand. And they've just come in handy here. And we're just coming to the end of this improvised leather ball stop, which we're just going to undo this last knot here. Don't want to cut this out, because actually this little piece of leather might come in handy for something at some point. Let's just, ooh, that's a nice tight knot. Let's just undo that. Let's get rid of that and pull it out. So I think we're going to keep hold of that bit of leather there, put that to one side, and just take a good look at it. Let's just get it over the old baseball bat and see what this pocket kind of look like. Amazing once you do this, just how much a pocket will stretch out, whether it's, oh, in fact, that makes my decision what I'm doing with this, is having just stretched it out. There was obviously one just very fine one that's just popped, which is a little frustrating, but again, the leather in this is in fairly good nick, so I might just take the leathers out of this and make use of them. But that's made my decision what I'm doing with this. I'll be stringing it up and restoring it fully. But I tell you what a fantastic frame this is. It's a really good stick, and I think that I'm going to enjoy restoring this one and bringing it back to a nice playable condition. and the gut is actually in really good shape. I do like, where possible, to kind of keep these original guts. I find it hard enough anyway. I mean, hold my hand up, you know, to do the synthetic gut that you'll see on some of the restored sticks. I've had to get a friend of mine, Chris Wilson, or Lacrosse Man on Instagram. Not that he uses Instagram very often anymore. But Chris is a phenomenal stringer, and I've sat with him and strung some of these guts up a couple of times. I've been able to do it alongside him. Can I remember without him how to do it? No, very difficult. You can imagine just how difficult it is using the gut because it hardens quite quickly. But this is going to get kept in the stick, this original gut. But this is a really, really nice stick. And I think by the time we finish restoring this, this is going to be a really fine stick. So stay tuned. This is going to be coming back onto YouTube soon with a completely different look. But really happy with this. Really glad I took a chance on this one on eBay because it is super, super straight. I mean, the handle's perfect. Head is in great condition. And this is going to make for an awesome stick when it's restrung.